Wizzy Wizards, and welcome back to the Pursuit of Happiness with me, Pigtail Gurl, your friend and fellow traveller. Hello and welcome back, my lovelies. I'm feeling very positive, just had my birthday, it's my Mayan birthday today, resonant red dragon. However, you will notice I did not feel drawn so much to wear red today, funnily enough, on my special red day. So happy Mayan birthday to me. And I just wanted to really touch base about some topics that are going on at the moment. We've just had a lot of major timeline edits. For anyone who follows Starfire Tour's work and my work over on the Time Chronicles and on Facebook and in the Telegram group, you would have been hearing all about them recently. So after massive loads of timeline edits, when someone suddenly does something out of the blue that's big and rubs a lot of the the minions up the wrong way, often you can see that that's a divinely guided occurrence that's happening, something that's been anchored in that's going to change the timeline for the better. So I'm talking about Elon Musk here, and a lot of people think he's negative. You know, he believes in a lot of things that the minions believe in, so it's easy to just put him in that box, right? But when I'm testing people for Minion Energy, what I'm looking for are people who's part of the death cult, people who are supernaturally often controlled as well. So we're not even just looking at just humans, we're often looking at humans that are supernaturally controlled by other forces, DMA forces, Minion forces. So the way I can scan people in BodyTalk, using my innate wisdom, I can also scan people for the Minion Energy, and it's not really that difficult, but you have to put yourself in a place of neutrality. You can't put yourself in a place where you're making the opinion discerning from the brain, because the brain is going to tell you what you want to hear based on your generalizations and judgments and agendas and bias. So we all hold those. So how a BodyTalk practitioner works is we have to go into something called the zone, right? The zone is when we have no agenda, we don't care, we have no opinions, we're nothing, we're just the absolutely silent, neutral observer. And this is a place for a lot of people that can be difficult to get into, but you can do it with practice and over time. Then when you're in that space, and I've shown you and told you many times about the Cortices Technique, how to get the left and right brain for true discernment, you've got to have left and right brain in equal portions. If you're only on the left or the right, you're not going to be able to discern properly. No matter what you think about your discernment, if you don't have this machinery working correctly, you only discern up to the level of your own ability and your filters and your own distortions. So BodyTalk is also a practice, because I do it on myself all the time. It's a daily practice to get my instrument into alignment so I can get the zone going and have the left-right brain connection to the heart mind and to the enteric mind. So you need this, and the third eye and all the chakras to be working properly to discern correctly. So I've got a bit of hair in my face. To discern correctly, yeah? So you may think you're discerning correctly, but, you know, and I'm talking about self here too. I've always used, you always think you discern well. No matter where you are in your journey, you always think you're the best you at that moment, which you usually are. So you're not wrong. You were discerning well, and I was discerning well for me before I learned how to do all this stuff. You know, I was a bit in the right brain, didn't have enough left brain, so my discernment was could be a bit delusional. I could go a bit too woo. You know what I mean? I could go right deep into the woo and get lost in the woo. So, you know, I'm honest. I'm telling you these things because everything I share with you is a journey I've been through myself, right? I'm very good at self-adjustment and realising, okay, you know, that was me. But to look with love and compassion, you know, this is why we have to have love and compassion, because everyone's at their point of their journey at their own time, yeah? So things I used to believe back when I was 15, I don't believe now. Stuff I believed when I was 30, I don't believe now, because I've been working on myself. So my discernment has improved, and now I can go in the zone, now I can get my answers. Now I can scan, is there minion here or non-minion here? A non-minion is someone who is just self. Someone who's not supernaturally controlled by outside forces, someone who's not working for the minion agenda, someone who you might think aligns sometimes with some of the things they believe, and sometimes they align with some of the things you believe, talking about the Musk. But at the end of the day, he is not minion, he's himself, he's neutral. So when he feels to act, God can still use that to act, it can still be the hand of God. It's very difficult for the hand of God or the hand of the divine or whatever you want to call it, I don't mind, to use a minion to do God's work, to carry out the plan of the, the divine plan, is very difficult. So the divine hand just looks for whatever's available, then goes in, will use it. And someone who has a non-minion energy can be used by that force. Someone who's a minion energy will be used by the dark force, manipulated, mind control. That's what the dark forces use. So all I'm saying with Musk is, I'm not saying that he's perfect like with Trump, right? It's not like, oh, these people are perfect, I love them, I adore everything about them. It's just, I can tell you that, like with Trump, this non-minion energy. But sadly, when it was with Putin, I was getting minion energy. That's how I'm always making my judgments. I'm not making my judgments by what everyone else thinks, what they're saying. I'm doing it in the zone, from the agendaless state. And I've shown you as well how to make your truth cards, haven't I? In another show, how to make your own truth cards. So you can write yes, no, minion energy, non-minion energy. You can have all this in your own cards. So if you don't feel like you're quite able to go in the zone yet, and again, when you pull your cards, try to be in the zone as much as you can. Don't be desperately wanting it to say this or the other, or you won't be able to intuit which is the correct card to pull. Because intuition is all about being able to sense and feel after the left and right brain have combined their energies, to then pick, using left and right brain understanding connected, what is the correct thing to choose or way to go, right? So, and I thought actually it might be nice, seeing I'm touching base, sorry, dropping my cards, to actually show you what BodyTalk looks like. What is BodyTalk? What do we do? So I'll do a quick self session. If my battery runs out, I'm sorry, I'll have to cut it short. So what I do is I center self. I've done my Cortices technique and I've got my left-right brain going. And I put myself in the zone, connecting to self. And then if I need to go and get my book, I might have to get a book. But, it looks like this. So I'll start with permissions. First, we always start with permissions. Are permissions needed for this session? No. Is there an agenda we need to set for this session? No agenda. Now, those things can come up in a session, they don't. So we go in a way, we ask questions and then we get answers. This is why it's called body talk. I'm talking to the innate wisdom. So now I'm communicating with my own innate wisdom of the body mind. So I'm going to ask, okay, so I'm going into sections. Sections is now I'm looking at the body. So in sections, am I looking in section 1? Am I looking in section 2? Yes, so section 2 is all things to do with the environment. So 2. General environment, it's not my general environment. Is it my environmental vivaxis? Yes, my environmental vivaxis is my energetic protective Wei Qi field. That's going to be my first part of my immune system. And if you're too empathetic, this means your Wei Qi field's weak and your environmental vivaxis is not strong. That means you're taking in too much external energies, right? So you want to build that up to build up your psychic immune system. And then also other entities can't interfere with your brain. When your energetics are strong, it's an electromagnetic field. The mind control energies can't come in. You see, that's the difference between someone who is self, has that strength like Trump and Elon, and then the ones that are weaker like Putin, who just give all the bravado, they have the weak Wei Qi field. So then these supernatural energies can use them, get in their minds, get them to do stuff, right? So difference: self, person who is centered in self, person who is minion energy, two different things. Self can always serve God. Okay, the divine, whatever you call it. So, right, I'm in environmental vivaxis. Now I'm going to find out what's disturbing my environmental vivaxis. So I'm going to ask, is it something to do with a time? Yes, it's something to do with time. Is it something to do with a concept of time? Is it a time of the day? Is it the past? Is it the present? And then I'm going to ask further more specific on the present moment. Further into the present moment? No. Okay, so my first item that's bothering is related to the present moment. So then I'm going to find out more about this. Further more specific on this present moment? No. Further on the orientation of my vivaxis? Yes. So that means something in the present moment is bothering me. So, okay, forward. Is it a people or persons? Yes. Is it someone that I know specifically in my life? Is it someone external to self? Yes. So that means someone in my environment external to me is disturbing my energetic field. So I'm going to ask, well, who is it? Is it a group of people? Yes. A conceptual group of people? Yes. Is it people in the media? Someone I would see on the TV? Is it doctors? People that work for the medical industry? Okay, so doctors. People more specific on doctors? No. Okay, so doctors. So in the present moment, doctors, and I'm feeling that it's something to do with the way medicine is treated at the moment, the Western medicine paradigm. So yeah, I'm feeling it's to do with doctors in the present moment and how they are seen as the only answer. No, it's not how they're seen, it's how they treat people. Yes, okay, it's simple. It's just how doctors are treating people in the present moment disturbs my vivaxis. Okay, so that's one concept I've got there that's bothering me. So then I would link it to other things. I'm sorry, I'm seeing that my battery's running out. I will try to charge it. Maybe I'll add something extra. Hi, so I had to edit because my battery died. Sorry guys. So I'm just some random place in my house. Excuse the mess. So where was I? So I've just ascertained that my environmental vivaxis, my vivaxis is being disturbed by doctors and how they treat people in the present day. So, and actually I remember I've had a few discussions about this. I call it the Flintstone of medicines. Because again, it's like what we were saying, you know, like when you're at a lesser state of consciousness, you still believe you're at the pinnacle of your consciousness. There's never a time when someone's doing something when they're not really at the pinnacle of self. But with concepts such as medicine, those have to develop and transform. And we need to move out of this age of chemical manipulation, which we've been in for some time since, you know, the oil barons decided to monetize every single chemical on the planet and use it to the max, basically. And here we are. So, yeah, so I've got this disturbance in my environmental vivaxis to the doctors. Then I'm going to ask, is there any further details on this? No. Could be some definition about it, but there's not. So I'm going to go on. Is there a link? Yes. Are we linking to something inside the environmental vivaxis? I'm going to look in section 2. No, I'm going to look in section 1. So now I'm going to ask, is it my 5 senses? No. Is it consciousness? Yes. General consciousness? Yes. Oh, I might need to get my chart for this. Furthermore specific on general consciousness? Furthermore specific? Yes. Okay. Is it separation? Is it to do with time? Time. Okay. Furthermore specific on time? No. Okay. It's linking to my conceptual understanding of time and all that encapsulates. So that's interesting. You know, body talk sessions are a very interesting exploration, and usually by the end of the formula it all makes sense. So it's connecting to time, all aspects of time, you know. Okay, so any further on this consciousness of time? Am I going to anchor this consciousness? Okay, anchoring it into the brain. Am I going to individuate it through the heart? Okay, so now I'm going to individuate that consciousness of time through my heart, which means any distortions relating to my vivaxis are going to be cleared through the heart mind, which means they just individuated, means just let go of, completely released. So I'm going to individuate it through the heart. Okay, so going to parcel that up. Are there any further details on this item? No. Okay, can I link it to something else? Yes. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. So I'm going to link it to something else that is connected to in consciousness in section 1. Yes. So am I going back to 5 senses, EGBs, organs? Yes. Okay, so something in my organs. Okay, am I looking further into the organs? A specific organ? Okay, I'm going to scan the organs. Lungs, heart. Okay, so furthermore specific into the heart? Further more specific into the heart? No? Okay, so we're linking it to the organ of the heart. Further details on the heart? Yes. So I'm going to ask, is there any external orientation to the heart? That means something external to myself that affected it? No. It wasn't an activity or an event or something that happened? No. Okay, so now I'm going to look inward. Is there a definition to this? Yes. So this is something internal to me. Defining by my 5 senses, by my consciousness? Yes. General consciousness? Pathological consciousness, this is where I have to get my chart. Pathological consciousness of an organ, of an endocrine, of a body part. Okay, I'm going to scan. Is it in the brain? Is it in the head? I'm going to look in the chest, in the back. Okay, it's in the back. So furthermore specific on the back, is it in the upper back? Is it in the lower back? Is it the spine? Okay, so pathological consciousness of the spine. Now I'm going to get my book. I've got my Bugs Bunny pants on. I'm going to just get my book that has my pathological consciousness charts in, because, well, there's a lot of info I haven't learnt it all yet. It's all brand new. So I'm going to look up the spine. And I'm going to see, well, what pathological consciousness of the spine is involved. Is it to do with support? Is it to do with centering? Is it to do with protection, solidarity, stability? Okay, it's linking to the aspect of stability that's held in the spine. Okay, so then I'm going to ask, is there any more information on pathological consciousness of the spine? No. Okay, is there any further details on pathological consciousness? Any further definition on this item? No, there's no further definition. So the heart is defined by the pathological consciousness of the spine, and it was stability. I seem to remember. I have to remember all these very long complex formulas. I usually write them down. So, okay, so is there any further definition? Is there another detail on this item? No. Okay, is there a link? Another link. So we're linking now from the heart. So we started at the doctors and how that was affecting me. That went into my consciousness around time, and then that came down to my heart, I believe, and it's defined by consciousness, pathological consciousness of my spine about stability. And now this is going to link to something else, and this is linking to something in sections. Yes, section 1, section 2, section 4. Okay, so now we're getting into more internal workings like body chemistry. No. Any active memories or belief system? No. Is it cellular repair? No. Is it my lymphatics? Yes. Okay, so now we're going to lymph nodes. Now I'm going to scan lymph nodes. Further on lymph nodes? Yes. I'm going to start as a zygoma is the controller? No. Clavicle? No. Diaphragm? Yes. Okay, we're going to the diaphragm as the controller of the lymph nodes. Further on the lymph nodes? No. So all lymph nodes controlling by the diaphragm are coming up to be balanced. And I'm going to ask, is there any other or details on the lymph nodes that I need to know about? Oh, yes. Okay, is there an orientation on the lymph nodes? Yes. Okay, time, people or persons. Okay, someone that I know personally. Is it a male, a female? Is it my daughter Freya? No. Is it my mother? Yes. Okay, so mother, yes. So it's coming up as a female relative in my family, mother. Further details on mother? No. Further orientation on mother? No. Just my concept of mother. Or my actual birth mother. Both are the same, really. Any further on this definition of the lymph nodes? No. Okay, is there a further link? No. And then I'm going to say, okay, shall I implement this? Am I going to tap this out? Tap it out? No. Okay, is there a parallel formula? Is there satellites? Okay, satellites are little energies we bring to help the healing solidify and download. I'm going to find out what satellite, what energy am I bringing in? Planetary energy, yes. Solar, Mercury, Venus, Earth energy, yes. Okay, Earth energy, that's very grounding. It means it wants to really ground me here. So I'm going to bring in the energy of the Earth. Any further on the satellites? No. Okay, any further details on this item? Implement it and tap it out? Yes. Okay, now I'm going to tap out to my Vivaxis. You tap out to the first item unless you're shown otherwise. So that was a few different things in my body that are all connected in some form of distortion that I can bring into balance. And you could see they were quite varied, the different energies, yet somehow connected. So usually I would stand up and I would, if I was doing an in-person session, I would, using kinesiology, test around a circle to find where the disturbance is. But for argument's sake, and seeing as I'm a bit more advanced now, I can do what we call a shortcut in BodyTalk. So I'm going to close my eyes, I'm going to see where the distortions in my Vivaxis are, and I'm going to set my intention as I think about doctors and the way they treat people today. And I feel just to place my hand here to represent the heart. I'm going to tap on the heart. My intention is just on that Vivaxis and how I'm tapping it out, balancing it out. All the others will fall into place as I balance out my feelings around doctors. Okay, now I'm going to ask, is this still a priority? No. Okay, in session, yes. So that was just one self treatment in BodyTalk, using BodyTalk, just because I know a lot of people don't know what it is. They've never seen anyone do it. They've never seen anyone receive it. We've all seen Reiki. We've all seen so many other things. So I just thought I'd show you, how BodyTalk works and what it looks like to have BodyTalk done on you. And now all those things that came up are going to be balanced. And as I'm doing it on myself, I can already feel the energy sort of, as it downloads sort of like this, and then that becomes your new reality because it's coming from the super consciousness. We've affected the super consciousness ideas in the innate wisdom that's now trickling down into the physical reality. That's how we work. And that's interesting because that's why I see modern medicine as the sort of Flintstone of medicines, because they're working from the ground up. They're working from the material and thinking this is what you treat. But the material is the last place you see the problem. The problems start in the superconscious areas, in the subconscious. We call it supraconsciousness, the one above, the conscious mind. So, and that's where all your answers are actually. If you want to discern, you've got to be able to get yourself into the point where you can actually really, truly divine energies and answers from that superconsciousness. And that takes work. That takes work to get there. That takes work. And you've got to be honest with yourself and really be honest about where your bias and agendas are and give yourself permission to just let them all go. Because when I do sessions, if I've got any bias or agenda there, I can't clearly read myself, right? And I know when I'm getting too emotional. If I'm too emotional, it means I'm not in the zone. I'm in the zone when I'm not emotional anymore and I'm just completely observing. So I hope that all made sense in a nice little bow for you. And I will see you guys on the next episode of The Pursuit of Happiness. One love.